In last class, we started discussing about the conditional statements. So when we should use conditional statements? When to use conditional statements? When we should use? If any block of code has to be executed based on some conditions, so then we'll go for the conditional statements. And we discussed about the if conditions and their syntax as well. Yeah. So based on this, we have discussed one simple question to understand about how to use numbers for this condition, and then how do we use character in place of the condition, and how do we use a string in place of this condition. So this is just an introduction of the conditions with different types of inputs, where we discussed character variable and character value. Value has to be enclosed in single quotes for character comparison. And when it comes to string, variable will be as it is, but for comparison, double equals, and we'll write that inside the double quotes. Yeah, this is one thing we discussed. And I have asked you to give the input for all the discussed programs using a scanner class. So where I don't think so you'll be having any problem with integer, it will work fine. And if character also, it will work fine. But when it comes to string, when you are taking the input from scanner class for string input, then this will not work as what we expect. Yeah, so because internally string has so much of story that we'll discuss almost at the end of our coding classes. So at this point of time, I'm just only answering, but why and all, I can't convince you at this point of time. Only just remember, when it comes to string, to read any input from string value from scanner class, so we take some variable of programmer choice. What's the method we'll be using? Assume S is the object of scanner class, then next is a method. Yeah. And what we'll be doing? We'll be using the if condition and this is string variable and with some value. Say, for example, I have given one program to check the country name and print the capital city of it. So this is a string. Yeah. And here we'll be writing the print statement with some capital city of some New Delhi for this. Yeah. Like this, we'll be writing something. And finally, we'll go for one else block. And here also we'll be writing some sample print statement. So in every scenario, if we are using this double equals operator, and while taking the data of string from scanner class, always we are going to get this else block output only. That's what is happening, right? So for that, the reason is whenever we are comparing, two integer values or one variable with one value, double equals will work. Whenever we are comparing character, double equals will work to compare. But whenever we are comparing with string, double equals will work if it is a direct input. That means in a program only we are giving the input, not from the console. But if we are giving the input from scanner class or keyboard input, scanner class input or keyboard input, so here we have to use equals method. That's the difference. Equals you have used, then it will work. Equals method we have to use. What do I mean? In place of this comparison or Boolean expression, what we have to write? Our object variable, yes, dot equals is one method. And here we have to give that India in double quotes because it's a string value. It's a value, it's a variable. So this is the replacement for this condition. So this will work in every scenario, whether you give direct input or whether you give scanner class input. So this is the recommended way to compare two strings. This string, this variable's string value is equals to the given value or not. That's the meaning of this line. Yeah. Why double equals is not working? Why equals only will work? For that, we have to understand the internal memory architecture that we'll discuss later. Yeah, so this is the solution for your doubt or questions. Clear? With this understanding, now let us go to some more questions of the if-else conditions or some more possibilities. So far, we discussed some programs based on one condition to check to give one output. Correct or not? In some scenarios, do we have always only one condition to check to give the result? No, best example is Gmail login only. If only user ID is correct, do we go to home page? No. User ID and password both has to be correct. Then only we'll go for the home page. So if anyone is incorrect, then we are not going to. And in some other scenarios, either first condition or second condition, if any one is true, then we need to execute the some piece of code. For that, the example is like verbal program. Yeah, the vowel program, it is ARERIRORU is one example. Or if it is say, for example, if I take the eligibility in a real-time scenario, the eligibility for donating blood. For example, if this is my requirement, there is a requirement that write a program to check some conditions and to print the eligibility of donating a blood. Generally, whenever we are going to give a blood, will the doctors take directly? No. So what they'll check? Yeah, so I'm just going for some simple conditions. Of course, they are aware of our group. After awareing the group, will they take directly? No. So they check our hemoglobin percentage. How much hemoglobin percentage this person have? Correct or not? If we are only having less, then doctor will not take. And second, if the age has to be something like greater than or equals to 18. And will they take from 100-year-old person also? No. So something like they'll be having the healthy age of some less than or equal to 60. So this is one more condition. And then they'll check. So this person has consumed any alcohol in the last 24 hours or not. All these are real-time scenarios, WHO scenarios only. So these are, if any one condition is true from this, is it okay to take the blood or all has to satisfy? More than one condition has to be satisfied. Then only it will be allowed to take the blood. So the same thing, if I take one more scenario, just to write our program, I'll take one more requirement based on gender, based on gender and based on the age. Write a program to check the eligibility of a marriage. Eligibility of marriage. So what is the scenario, real-time scenario? For example, if it is a male, what should be the age category? Greater than or equals 21. Then only we are allowed. If the gender is male and age is greater than or equals 21, then only is allowed. If any one is true, is it fine? If only male, is it okay to get married? No. If the age is only greater than 21, is it okay? No, both has to be satisfied. Similarly, when it comes to female scenario, if the gender is female, then what's the age category? Greater than or equals to 18 years. So both we have to check. Gender and age we have to check. Then only we can conclude that male person is eligible. And the gender as female and age is greater than or equals to 18, then only we can conclude that that person is eligible. So it means we are checking multiple conditions to conclude that is a requirement fulfilled or not fulfilled. At the same time, we discussed yesterday one program called vowel program. So if you take some character ch equals some value, then here, how many possibilities are there for vowels? 5. If you take only lowercase letters, 5. Yeah. Then here what we are writing, one block for A, one block for E, I, O, U. So the instead of that, can we say if it is A, R, E, R, I, R, O, R, U, if the letter is any one of these, not all of these, any one of these, then shall we go for printing it as or concluding it as vowel? Yeah. So here multiple conditions and both has to be satisfied. But in our this vowel scenario, if it is A, R, E, R, I, R, O, R, U, it has to be all or it has to be anyone. Anyone. So here also multiple conditions only, but one has to be satisfied. Here multiple conditions, all has to be satisfied. So there is a difference, right? So to fulfill such type of requirements, we have the compounded condition statements. Compound means more than one condition we have to club together. Compounded condition statements. So what are those compounded condition statements? So there is one operator called as OR. So in pronouncing, we'll call it as OR operator, but symbolically, we'll be writing in Java with two vertical lines. This is the OR operator. This is the symbol we are going to use. And there is one more called as AND. We'll be using double ampersand together. So this is the representation. Yeah. To club more than one condition, we will use OR operator or we'll be using AND operator. Yeah. So if at all we are using this OR operator, I'll write in lowercase letters. If you are using this in OR operator, then what is this OR table? So in mathematics somewhere we have learned this. Yeah. So what is that? Yeah. True and true or true. What's the result? If you are checking two conditions, first one is true, second one is true. What is the combination of true or true? True only. What's true or false? True only. False or true? True. False or false? False. So this is what the R table means. When you're clubbing more than two conditions, the result is based on this true and true or false, false or true, false or false. Then end result is to be so in this way. So true or for both it is yes. Anyone yes. Anyone yes. Both are false, then false. That's a true table. What is this AND table? So for example, true and true. What's the result? True. True and false. False. False and true. False. False and false. False and false. False only. Yeah. So this is the table which you are going to use. Yeah. For clubbing two or more conditions by using either OR operator or AND operator based on this table. So we'll be getting the conclusions. Now here one more important point. Just please respond. This decision conclusion is true, correct or not? It is because of a first one or second one. In OR operator, this result is because of first one or second one. Hmm. In OR operator, if any one is true, the result is going to be true. Now here, the first one is true or second one is true. Both are true only. But if it is checking here, once it got first one as true, do we need to check the second one? No. The execution engine need to check the second one? No. They function very cleverly. They don't waste time in checking the second one if already first one is true with the help of OR operator. With the help of OR operator, if one is true, then execution engines will not waste in time in checking the second condition. Yeah. So that's why I'm putting a box because of this, the conclusion is true. Correct? So here it is because of first one or second one. If first one is true, second one can be anything, but end result is going to be true only. That's why the conclusion is happening because of first one here. And when it comes to this scenario, first one is false, then second one needs to be checked or not checked. Need to be checked. And because of this second one only, the conclusion is happening as true. Are you getting me? Next, tell me the last one. First one is false. Then check the second one. And the second one is also false. Therefore, conclusion, it's because of first one or second one? Second one. Yeah. Similarly, when it comes to and, if the first one is true, do we take the result as true? No. Then here the conclusion is happening because of first one or second one? First one is true and second one is true. If second one is true, that's why we are getting the result as conclusion as true. Therefore, execution engine will check first one and conclusion will happen because of second one. It will check second one also, then concludes. So here, first one will be checked, but conclusion is because of second one. Here, second one will not be checked. Here, second one will not be checked. And here, first one will be checked and second one also will be checked. And in this second scenario, first one is checked. It will check anyhow. First one is true. And second one will be checked or will not be checked? Will be checked. And because of the second one only, we are going to get the conclusion as false. Yeah. Next scenario. First one will be anyhow checked. And first one is what? False. And it is because of this false, second one will be checked or will not be checked? In AND operator. If any one is false, are we going to get in result? No, that's why. So if first one is false, then execution engine will not waste in checking the second one. So therefore, based on this only, the conclusion will happen. This will not be checked. And in last scenario, first one will be checked and it is false. Because of this only, the conclusion happens. Second one will not be checked. Yeah. So based on this, they'll play so many tricky questions where something is not possible in Java, they'll write as the second part to confuse us. Syntactically correct, or do we get some output and all? That's how they'll be tricking us. So you should be aware of this clarity. Am I clear? Or any questions? No. Now, whenever we write it, please keep this in mind. Yeah. Whenever you're reading some question to write what is output of out of the four options, or you have to write what is output, then please keep this in mind. So they'll play tricks with this. So to go for our discussion of compounded statements, let us go the same real-time scenarios. The requirement is write a Java program to check and print eligibility of marriage based on gender and age. For example, if this is the requirement, what is the input for this program? Gender is one input and age is another input. Gender is what type of input? Male or female? Male or female? String. Age, integer. So two inputs are required. So that's the first understanding. So first, then let's go for int age equals to some value. Value doesn't matter for writing the logic part. Then string, I'll use G for gender equals male or female. That's a string data. That's why in double quotes. Next, how many condition blocks are required? Number of condition blocks. 2 or 3. One for a male, one for a female, one for not possibility. That's why 3. So what's the first condition block? If condition always. What's the condition to be checked? Yeah, so gender, yeah, dot equals, I'm writing, gender equals male. The next condition, age has to be greater than equals 21 for male. Yeah, equal symbol we should not write like this, like we write in math. This is wrong in programming language. We cannot type like that. Okay, so this is how we have to write it. And if these two has to be true or any one has to be true? Both has to be true. Then which operator I have to use to club them? Logical and operator. Logical and operator, that is with double ampersand. And what's the conclusion? If this is true, both are true, then yes, print, what's the print statement? Eligible for marriage. Then what's alternate? This is for male scenario. What's alternate? Female scenario. That's why. What's next block? Else if. Then again, gender equals female, then followed by age has to be greater than or equals 18. Then for this scenario, the conclusion is true if it is satisfies. Both are true. Then what we have to use? Logical and operator. Then conclude print of eligible. And then if anyone is not true from the above male scenario and female scenario, then so it's for either of them, it is not eligible. So this is the use case of the compounded conditions. One condition and another condition clubbed with logical and operator, because in this scenario, both has to be true. Yeah, understood. Next, one more scenario where write a program to check and print a character is vowel or not. To print a character is vowel or not vowel. So if we say character, then it's challenging. Alphabet will write. What so it means we are taking the input surely only letters. Then for this, what are the vowels? A, E, I, O, U. So in yesterday's program, we have written 5 conditional blocks for that and 1 else block for that. Now can we take or can we make this very simple? Yes. So first, what is the input? One character input, some ch equals something in single quotes. We'll discuss later. Then followed by if condition to start with. If that character is A. Next, if the character is E. If the character is I. If that character is O. And last, if the character is U. Then what is the conclusion? It's a vowel, correct? But here the condition is it has to be any one of these or it has to be all of these. Any one of these. Then which operator we have to use to club them? Yeah, logical or operator. It is 2 vertical lines. Okay, we have a symbol on top of the enter button on the keyboard. Okay, so this is what we have to use it. So logical or operator. Then the conclusion, print, it's a vowel. Then for this, the alternate else part, else not a vowel. Yeah, so since it is a alphabet only, we can conclude it as consonant. Now, if I want to write for uppercase letters also, then what to do? Add capital letters also here. Add cap one for capital A, capital E, capital I, capital O, capital U. We have to add, no other shortcut for that. So this is how we can write by using compounded conditions. Again, multiple conditions we are clubbing into together with the help of the logical and in the previous example, logical or in this example. Yeah, clear it? Yeah. So we will have some practice questions at the end of the class. I'll be giving you. So first concept of compounded conditions with some simple examples. The next one, nested conditions. What is the meaning of nested conditions? One condition block, one conditional block inside another condition block, inside another condition block. Such type of syntax is called as a nested conditions. Is it required or not? It's very much required. Okay, so first, before we go for some examples, what is the scenarios that we will be facing with this? We can use this nested conditions. First, let us understand the syntax before we go for it. When it comes to syntax, the first part is general syntax of if and else is if one condition, then followed by its block of code. Wanted I'm taking some space. Then followed by else if again some condition, then its block of code, then followed by else is a basic syntax. Now inside this if part, can we have one more if with condition and its block? Inside one if, one more if we are writing. This is one condition block inside another condition block. This is a valid syntax? Yes, it is valid. Then inside this only, once again, it depends on the requirement. Can we also have else if with condition and its block of code? Yes. And again, depends on the requirement. Can we have multiple else if blocks? Yes, we can have. Can we also have else block? Else block. Inside this if, again I am writing the entire if else syntax. Is it supported or not supported? It is supported. It is possible. The next, inside this first basic syntax of if, this time I am taking more space for else if condition and followed by one else condition. This is our basic syntax. Now inside else if also can we have? Inside else if also, can we have if condition and its block of code? Only if. Yes. Can we have if with else if? Yes, it's possible. Can we have if else if multiple? Yes. Can we have if else if and else also? Yes. So this is the condition block inside another condition block. Inside else if also, it is valid. It is supported. Next. What is the third possibility? Inside else also. Is it possible? First we'll be having a if condition, then followed by else if condition, then followed by else block. Now inside else block also possible or not possible? So here, can we have only if inside else? No idea or not sure? Where? Ah. No, that possibility already we discussed with second scenario. So here you are saying yes, this is what you are saying, right? That is okay, but I have a doubt whether this is also possible or not. Else, inside else, if block possible. Okay. Else if, and multiple else if blocks, and also else block. Only else is not possible. Remaining possible. You think so? Okay. So here most of the people will say no for this, but it is also yes. This is also possible. Okay. So here this is supported in Java. This is also supported in Java. Of course, in any programming language, here also it is supported. This is the nested part. Can we have only else here? Inside if only else? No. Inside also the same syntax has to be followed. If followed by else, if followed by else. Can we have only else if? No, we cannot have that. Okay. So again, the rule remains same. If one condition block, that must be if only inside also. If two condition blocks, it can be if else. If three condition blocks, then if followed by else, if followed by else. That order remains same even inside also. Same as like outside. Okay. So that should not be missed. So here first if only everywhere. Second else if only everywhere. Third else only everywhere. This is allowed. Yeah. So now, yes, else also allowed. Yeah. If you want, you can just type the syntax in Eclipse and check it. Conditional programs, I am not going to execute anything in the classroom because I am sure about my logics. I want you to verify by executing. So classroom level, I'll be discussing, I'll be writing the programs and all these things. But you can verify by executing. I'm not executing anything. Then the next part. Where is the scenario that will be using the nested condition? What is the scenario? So just now we discussed one program. Let me use the same thing as an example for that. What is that? So here, eligibility of a marriage. Same thing I'm writing once again. Can we write this with the help of the nested conditions or not? So what we have to check? Two conditions, no? Gender and male. So first one string gender equals some string value, then followed by int age equals some integer value. Then what is our first condition? If gender dot equals, if it is male, this is the first comparison. then end of equals method, end of if condition. Okay. Then if this is true, can we conclude that eligible? No, we have to check one more condition which is related to gender male. What's the next condition? Age. Then can we write that inside is this if? So here again, since only one condition, if block only we have to use it. If that age is greater than or equals to 21, then now inside this, can we conclude? Else is mandatory or optional? Now, if this is true, what to write? Else we should write or not, that we'll discuss later. If this is also true, then what's the conclusion? Eligible. System dot outer println eligible, correct? Then if gender is male, but age is less than 21. So then where we should write that? So here only else block, we can conclude that even though it's male is okay, but age is not matching for the requirement. That's why if it is false condition or false scenario for this, then we have the alternate for not eligible. So this is the use case of a which sequence. Yeah, and logic. Yeah, here also yes only. When JVM enters into this, when this is true only. If this is true only, JVM enters into this one. If not, JVM will go for alternate block. Correct or not? So in that way, this is faster. Yeah. So that's the reason we will be using nested conditions. Then what's alternate for this? Only this is a male scenario. What's a female scenario? Else if again gender dot equals, then in double quotes female, then followed by what's the one more condition? If female is okay, then what about the age? That's why age here also age I have to write. Age is greater than or equals 18. Then what's the conclusion? Eligible. Then else part not eligible. That's it. So here, so we can add system.out.println eligible. The next in else part, we can add it as not eligible. So this is the use case of a one nested conditions. Yeah. Then what is the JVM's execution flow for this? For example, assume if this is a male and it is 20, for example, 20. Then first JVM execute this line, male value will be assigned to G variable. Then second JVM execute second line, 20 will be assigned to age variable. Then obviously JVM comes to first if block only, and execute this line of code. What will happen? So first it will check that gender, that is male dot equals of male, true or false? True scenario. If this is true, then JVM enters into the this if body, it enters into this one. Then it come and check this condition. What is the age value? 20 is greater than equal to 21. It's a false scenario. So therefore, will JVM goes to else? Yes, it goes to if condition is false, JVM goes to else block. Then here, obviously directly it will enter because no condition is checked. Then prints output as not eligible. Is it correct for male and 20 not eligible is output? Yes, it's a correct output only, not eligible. For example, next scenario, if the input is say female, if input is female, then age let it be 20 only. Then first female will be assigned to G, 20 will be assigned to H, then JVM comes to obviously first block. Gender dot equals male, female dot equals male. True or false? False. Then where JVM goes? Its alternate block called this else if. It will not enter into the body, it will goes here. Gender dot equals of female, yes, true. Then enters into the body. Again, first if condition will be checked. 20 is greater than or equals to 18. True. Then enters into this body and execute this statement. And will it execute else part? No. Will it execute any outside else part? No. So then JVM comes out of all condition blocks from this here. All condition blocks, not only this one. Okay. Clear? Yeah. So that is how these nested parts will be executed In most of the scenarios, nesteds are faster compared to the multiple condition blocks or compounded condition blocks. Clear? Yeah. Shall I execute and show anything? No? Debugging, all those things we have to implement here if your output is not working. It's not only for methods, we have to debug. Everywhere we have to debug when something is not working as per my expectation. I'm thinking that my program is correct. Yeah. For example, if I'm giving input from scanner class, I think it's not working, not giving some output. Then is my logic is wrong, or did I make any mistakes? Syntactically, everything is okay. Logically wrong, or flow is not happening as per my expectations. Those things we can understand by debugging process. Clear? Next. So here, one most frequently asked interview question. If at all you are getting any coding question from if conditions, then there are 2 or 3 questions only. So one of that is this. Write a program to check a year is leap year or not. Leap year or not a leap year. So for this, what's the input? It's not based on days, based on a year. For example, 2024, 2023, 1995, 1947. A year is the input. Yeah, that's why. So if it is one integer input is one integer, correct? How many condition blocks are required? We have to understand the logic. What's output? Leap year, not leap year is output, correct? Yeah. So then how do we say a year is a leap year or not leap year? Divisible by 4, correct? For example, if we take the year 2024, is it a leap year? Yes, because it is divisible by 4. That's why we can say it is a leap year, correct? Correct or not? We'll take year 2000. Is it a leap year? Yes, because it is also divisible by 4. 4, it's a leap year. Then if you take 1000, year is 1000. Then is it divisible by 4? Yes, 4 250 times 1000. Therefore, what's the conclusion? It's not leap year. If you want, you can check in Google. Why? Yes, of telling with double zeros, it must be divisible by 400. 400 also. Okay. So here you are correct. There is a scenario where if number is only divisible by 4, only divisible by 4, then we can happily conclude it's a leap year. But in some scenarios, like he's saying, if number is ending with 2 zeros and all, then there is a next part. The number has to be divisible by 4 and 100 and 400 also. Of course, 100 and 400 is obviously 400 only. I can take it to keep the logic very simple. So here, if it is divisible by 4, then not with 100, then not with 400. Is this a scenario of only 4 or not? This is only 4 scenario. Only 4. But here, if a number is divisible by 4, then 100 we have to check. Is it also divisible by 100? 2000 is divisible by 100? Yes. Then we have to check for 400 also. Then if only 4 is correct, then leap year. If all 3 are also correct, then leap year. Yeah. But in 1000 scenario, 4 is yes. 100? Yes. 400? No. So in this scenario, it's not a leap year. It's not a leap year. Yeah. So this is the program we have to write. Okay. So for this, there is a simplest algorithm is there. Based on this understanding only, please tell me if y is 1 year, what is the first condition to be checked? We have to check with 4 or we have to check with 100 and 400? 4 only we have to check. That's why if we check divisibility of 4, how many possibilities? It may be no or it may be yes. So please tell me For example, if it is no, n for no, what's the conclusion? If year is not divisible by 4, there is no doubt at all, it's not a leap year. NL I'm writing, not leap year. But if it is yes, can we say it's a leap year? No, only 4 we cannot conclude because there are other numbers to be checked. That's why here what you have to check? 100 we have to check. How many possibilities again? 2 possibilities. So here is a tricky point. If 100 is no, please tell me what's the conclusion? 4 is yes, 100 is no. Already answer is there. 4 is yes, 100 is no. What's the conclusion? This is the only tricky thing in this. That's all. 4 is yes, 100 is no. Then the conclusion is leap year. But if 100 is also yes, then can we conclude? No. We have to check for 400 as well. Then again, how many possibilities? For 400, it may be no or it may be yes. If 400 is no, then what's the conclusion? 4 is yes, 100 is yes, but 400 is no, not leap year. Are you getting me? This is a scenario where 4 is yes, 100 is yes, 400 is no. Then if all three are yes, 4 is yes, 100 is yes, 400 also yes, then it's a leap year. That's all. If you understand the above one or this one, it is very easy to write the program. Okay. Then how do you write the program for this? What is the input? One integer, one year, y I am writing, and any number as a year input here. Then we can write very easily the nested logic for this. So first, always the first condition to be if block only. If year divisible by 4 double equals 0, then what's the conclusion? Can we say directly? No, we cannot say. Correct? But if this is false, if this is false, can we say something? Yes. What's that? Yeah. If this is not true, what is the next condition? Else part. What's the else part? Have obviously not a leap year. Not leap year. Correct? This is the conclusion we can make. But if it is 4, we cannot make the conclusion. Then what's next condition to be checked? Only 4 is done here. And with the no part we are done. With the yes part we left over. That's where I'm using a nested condition. Inside this again we have to write one more if. What is the next number to be checked? 100 double equals 0. Correct? If this is yes, can we make some conclusion? Here only yes. Leap year or not leap year? 4 is checked. 100 is also checked. With the help of 100 only, can we say it's yes or no? No. But if 100 is no, then what's alternate for that? Yeah, this is where we are. 4 is yes, 100 is no. What's the conclusion? This is the trickiness, that's all. This is the only tricky point in this. It's a leap year. Then 4 is done, 100 is also done. What's the next number to be checked? 400. So again, inside if, one more if we are writing. This is the allowed, this also allowed. Now this time we have to check it as 400. If this is yes, can we make some conclusion? Yes, we can make. What's the conclusion? It's a leap year. Then if this is false, then the else part, what's the conclusion? Not leap year, that's all. So this is the easiest way to understand and write this leap year program. It's not a big thing. Yeah. So this is one way. There is another way with the help of component conditions also. I'll just tell you the logic. I want you to understand this. If year is a input, y is a input, then if y modulo 4 double equals 0 and y modulo 100 not equals 0, then y modulo 400 double equals 0. This is the condition. Then we can conclude it's a leap year. It's a leap year. Then the alternate for this if is else it's not a print, not leap year. Not leap year. Then here I left with some joining. So this has to be one expression and this has to be another expression. Any one of these has to be true. That's why OR operator. This also will work with the same way like how this works. This is faster compared to any other logic of leap year. This is faster. That's why nested are faster compared to the normal logics. Clear this? For example, so first, if you take some year as say 2024, first if you take it as 2024, then JVM comes to this if condition. Year modulo 4 double equal 0. True or false? True. Then because of AND operator, second one will be checked or will not be checked? Because of AND operator. Only based on first one only will get conclusions in AND table. Both second one also. That's why this will be checked. And 2024, when we divide with 100, it's not 0. Remainder is not 0. True or false? True. Any confusions, please? Remainder not 0 we are writing. That's why true. So when both are true, then R operator is there. Will it goes for next one? True and true. What's the conclusion? True and true. It's true only. Then what's the next operator? If first one is true, with the help of R operator, do we need to check the next one? Not required. Therefore, conclusion has comes. Then here, print leap year is output. And which is rightly so for 2024 as we discussed. Correct? Are you getting me? Am I going fast? No. The next scenario, what is that? Let us take 2000. And here, 2000 modulo 4 double equal 0. True or false? True. And 2000 when we divide with 100, not 0 as a remainder. True or false? 2000 when we are dividing with 100, it will be 0, but we are saying not 0. That's why it's false. What is true and false conclusion? False only. The end result of this true and false is false only. And then what's next operator? R. Therefore, first one is false with R operator. Second one will be checked or will not be checked? Will be checked. And 2000 for with divides 400, it's 0 is a remainder. True or false? False. 2000 when you're dividing with 400, how do you get? Sorry. It is true. Yeah. Then false or true? True. False or true? The end result of this is true only. Therefore, we get the output as leap year once again, which is rightly so. Then the last scenario, we'll take it as say 1000. This color is visible? Yeah. I'll change it. So if it is 1000, then first 1000 division with 4. True or false? True, of course. 1000 when we divide with 100, not equal to 0 because of that? False. Actually equal to 0. But because of not equal to 0, it's false. What's true and false? False only. Therefore, it will go to next. Because of R operator, next one will be checked. 1000 with 400. False only? Yes or no? False only. So false or false. Therefore, else block and we get the output as not leap year. Same thing you can analyze here also. Same way we can analyze here also. We'll get output. So here, this is understood based on this diagram and all. But this is directly I have written. That's why I have explained this. So this you can analyze the same way. When outer condition is true, then only enters into the inner part. That's how the execution flow will happen. Clear with this? Am I clear? Yeah, you can go with any one logic. So for awareness, we should have both. When you're writing in test and all, you can go with anyone. Yeah. Which is recommended? Both are equally fast. Both are equally fast. Explanation convenience or understanding convenience. This is the easy. So here, why did you write this not equal to 0? If you get a cross question, then we will be unable to explain. Okay, that is our understanding only. It's not possible to explain. That's it. Yeah. Then next, the order of condition blocks is important or not important? Can we write in any order, or we have to follow some order? Order is important. For example, I have come back to one of the previous discussed program. So here, first, which condition we are writing? The condition for checking is India. Second, we are writing for Australia. Third, we are writing for US. My point is, can I write first condition for Australia? Yes or no? Then can we write else if condition with India? Then can we write third one for US? Still, do we get correct outputs or incorrect outputs? Correct outputs only. First only can we write US? Second, can we write India? Third, we can write Australia. Any order. Okay. So overall, my conclusion is, whenever any condition statements are given, is it important to follow some order, or we can write any order? That's my question. What's your answer? If some questions are given, then order is important or not important? What is the conclusion for that? Okay. I am not giving the answer, but I'm giving a question. So this you take for your practice. The requirement is write a Java program to print. Print what? Print say fizz. Print fizz if a number is only divisible by 3. Only divisible by 3. Same question only. Next condition, print buzz if a number is only divisible by 5. Everything is same. The next print fizz buzz. Print fizz buzz. Same. One question only, like India, Australia, like that. Yeah. So if a number is divisible by both 3 and 5, then last print buzz fizz. Buzz fizz if a number is not divisible by both 3 and 5. This is the question.